Vivian Miller is the mother of 4 young children living in an American suburb with her loving husband. She also recently received a promotion in her job at the CIA, working as an analyst on Russian counterintelligence. She's even made some strong headway against a deep-cover Russian spy ring, which will do quite a lot to protect the country. Everything is going well for her, but all of that immediately changes when she finds her husband's photo while hacking into a Russian ringleader's laptop. Her world is shattered when she asks her husband about it, and he admits that he's been working for the Russians for the last 20 years. With this abrupt revelation, Vivian has to choose between her family and her country. Need to Know is the first novel by former CIA analyst Karen Cleveland, published earlier this year in 2018, and it has earned widespread praise. With a contemporary setting, Need to Know does a great job setting itself up with suspense and emotional drama. The book keeps itself at a moderate pace, giving enough detail to flesh out the world, but little enough that you could still be surprised by sudden developments. One thing that the author absolutely nailed is that almost every chapter ends in a gripping twist or cliffhanger, demanding that you keep reading. Those alone made putting the book down very difficult. The characters are vivid and varied, which adds to the realism of the book. Vivian is a strongly written, sympathetic protagonist, and her problems and struggles are relatable, but still conflicting to the point where there are no easy answers. Her choices, while sometimes foolhardy, are understandable considering her home life and personal relationships to those around her. And really, what would you do if your spouse, the love of your life and the father or mother to your children, was a spy? And not even a violent assassin or anything, just a low-level informant. Would you purge a CIA data file just to keep him or her safe? Would you act against your country's interests to keep your family whole? A lot of the reason this conflict works so well is because Vivian's husband, Matt, comes off as very friendly and caring. Even with this incredible tension between him and his wife, he's very affectionate and protective of their children. He knows that what he's done isn't right, and he keeps trying to help Vivian make the situation better. But at the same time, he's been lying to her for the length of their entire relationship. And he's been working in concert with Russian intelligence, one of the most dangerous enemies that America has. How much can Vivian really trust him? What if his plans to fix things are really just an elaborate trap? One of the better qualities of the book is the constant back and forth that goes on in Vivian's mind. Even as she looks for all the good qualities in Matt and how he seems like he wants to reform and turn himself in, she thinks back to all the moments of doubt that she had with him. There's an undercurrent of uncertainty as Vivian wonders if Matt manipulated her at every turn, and that only makes her question her own choices. Is she doing the right thing? Could she lose her job at the CIA for being married to a spy, or worse, get arrested under suspicion of committing treason? If I were to criticize anything though, it would be in the world building. Obviously, the author couldn't reveal that much about life within the CIA, so the scenes of Vivian in her office come off as a little bare. It's more or less exactly the same as any normal office life. I mean, it's functional, but there's nothing that makes Cleveland seem like a technical expert in her field. The most we see is Vivian hacking into a spy's computer and interacting with an agency mainframe. It feels more like Cleveland was depending on her readers knowing what normal office life was like, chatting with coworkers, going to meetings, etc. This lack of development carries through to Vivian's home life, so that we see very little of her kids or life in the suburbs. It's not vital, since her oldest kid is only 5 or 6, and that's not where the story was focused anyway. But it might have been nice to see the world get a little more rounded out. Still, these are relatively minor complaints, since the story and conflict were all about Vivian's emotional struggles and the consequences of her choices, and those latter points were handled extremely well. Overall, the book is tightly packed with suspense, raw emotional conflict, and a relatable, sympathetic protagonist. The book is a page-turner, well worth the read. I do have more that I want to say, but for the sake of spoilers, I'll hold off here. If you like thrillers, then you should definitely check out this book. So, have you read the book? What did you think? If not, do you want to read it now? Whatever your thoughts, comment below and stay tuned for more.